Alright, YouTube. So welcome to our channel, Gamers Media Warrior. So, what we're building for Grandma here, we're going to have a gigabyte, just simple gigabyte board, nothing fancy. She isn't anything fancy, so that's what we're going to do. And here we're going to have SATA cables, which we don't need, I/O shield, which we do need, and the motherboard. Set that aside gently for a second. We can see if there's anything else there we need. Some paperwork, don't think we need that. What I like to do is I like to set everything up on the box, the test bench. Kind of make sure everything works, and we'll plug into the TV here in a little bit and make sure it's all working. Get this stupid tape out of here. Oh, jeez. Hate unboxings. Alright, so there's our board. Pretty simple. Just Grandma. Nobody really needs anything fancy. First thing we'll do is I've got Ryzen 1500X here. A little dirty. You can see it's been used. This is an old chip of mine. It worked out good. I upgraded my friend to a 2600X, Daleski. He'll be in some of our videos. I upgraded myself to a 2700X, and Grandma gets 1500X, which is a quad-core, 8-thread processor that actually runs pretty much everything I've able to throw at it anyways. Not as good as your 7700K or 8700K, but for what it cost, you really can't beat it. Just throw that in like that, simple as that. We're going to throw in here, we'll put the cooler on here quick, so there's the cooler. Like I said, just the standard wonderful AMD cooler. Actually, pretty nice cooler. This is my favorite thermal compound to use, Arctic Silver 5. My personal belief that the darker the compound, the better it can transfer heat. That's my theory. I've been dealing with it for, like I said, I've been building computers since I was about 12 years old, and that's my opinion as far as what and how thermal compound transfers. Not that thickness has anything to do with anything, but I think the thicker it is, the more actual silver it has in it, which is what what's actually transferring the heat. Just a nice little bead. That's all you need. Cooler just mounts up just next show. Just get the little screw holes lined up there. It's gonna be a little tight. One complaint I have with these AMD coolers is how tight they feel like they have to be screwed down. It seems a little bit excessive, but hey, it hasn't failed me yet. Just getting that cross thread done. It's not going, is it? It takes a lot of pressure to get it to take, especially once you start. Last one's always the hardest. I don't know why. Okay, let's tighten down the one we started on. Boom. Boom. Okay, plug this bad boy in and it's done. I'm going to think about it. CPU fans right up top here. Probably can see it. Right up by the RAM slots. Memory slots, whatever you want to call them. This is a PWM, so it's going to take the 4 slots, which is kind of nice. Alright, for Grandma, I'm just going to throw in here, she doesn't need much more than this. Simple 8 gig stick of RAM I laying around, DDR4. I believe it's 3000 speed, yep, 3000 speed overclockable. Good stick for her, nothing fancy. She's not going to be doing any editing or anything, so no reason to go crazy with the RAM. Hoping that this cooler allows it to go into this slot. Doesn't look like it is. Nice thing with having dual slots like this is that there really is no any reason why you need to have it in either slot or the other. And I think eventually, especially once RAM prices start to go down a little bit, I'll probably upgrade or do a dual channel kit, maybe get a little more performance out of that. Then we can probably tuck that cable right down in there. Nice. Okay, well that's that. Now what we're going to do is install the M.2 drive. It's a Kingston model, 240 gig NVMe SSD, so she'll get some pretty good performance out of that. And these guys, here, see if I can see this over here a little better. These guys are super tiny and super delicate. About the size of a stick of gum, which is kind of cool. Maybe had it on tape before I started this. Okay. Kingston. Little tiny thing, pretty cool. I like these drives. However, they're in the motherboard too, you don't have to worry about, you know, having to hook a power to it or whatever else. It's kind of nice. And just put that screw right down and show, and bada bing, we're installed. So we're not going to bother testing this because I think that it's going to work fine. Most of it's been tested, especially the CPU and the RAM. So we're going to just start to install into the case. So motherboard's built. Shouldn't be an issue there. So we're just going to slide this over behind the camera for a second. Now the case we're going to use is just your pretty typical little case. It's an Antec case, nothing fancy. Over, so she's doing the right way. Alright, first thing first is get it popped open. Let's see if we get a camera right in here so you can see what we're doing in here, right? That's what everybody wants to see. Yeah. Alright, first things first, that I always do, otherwise I do forget it sometimes. IO shield. Put this in right away because forget it, then you get the motherboard installed, you got bigger problems. I always look for, if they have them, the two PS2 ports. Sometimes my new motherboards don't have it. In that case, then look for the video. Doesn't have that, then look for the audio. Audio's at the bottom. That's a good way to tell what direction you got to mount it. You just get it in there best you can. It should sit in there pretty nice, and you should be able to snap each corner in individually. Sometimes one of them will do by itself, or go by itself. And we just try and get all these wires out of the way from launch. She does have kind of a custom USB thing on here so she can read some SD cards or whatever the case may be. Alright, so, and then make sure you have standoffs. This one came pre-installed, ready to go, which is nice. If you don't, I've been down that road, it's not fun. You can grab the motherboard and grab it. Yeah, just grab this guy right by the half fan, heatsink. It's mounted, back plate, nice solid grab. Drop her down nice and neat, real slow. And then try and get the I/O plate lined up first if you can. That's what I try to do. And then once you do get it lined up, try and find your standoffs. And then what I like to do is just get a screw. Screw that is made for a motherboard. I got a little pile of screws over here. What I like to do is get a screw ready to go. Find my screwdriver. Hey, there it is. Get a screw ready to go. I like to have a magnetic tip. Really nice, long one too. Get it so nice and centered, and just find one of the standoffs and just boom, right in. One's in. Typically you're fine, but that is not the right screws, of course. You gotta have the right screws. That is the key. Here we go. Typically they're a finer thread one, so keep that in mind. That was a case screw, I think. So once you get one standoff down, then the rest of them are super easy. I think we only need a few more for, yeah, 3 more. This is a pretty simple board, so we'll just need 3 more. 1, 2. I spotted a 3rd one, perfect. Okay, last one we need. Alrighty, done. Motherboard's in. Now I see we got a case fan. There's actually a port right down here next to the audio ports on the board. I'll use that. Good to go there. And let's try and plug in all these guys. So there's a SATA port on the front too. Oh, it's kind of cool. Alright, so this is SATA. So let's plug that into the bottom one. So I'm going to have a drive. We're going to hook up a CD drive and another hard drive to this. Once we get to our house. USB header there. USB 3.0 header right here. USB headers are
2 very boring minutes later.
the audio header. Done. Alright, if you guys can't see, we'll give you the look of what we got done so far. Looking pretty good, almost done. Gonna put a graphics card in and power supply and should be ready to boot. This is a lovely little, just cheapo power supply. Hopefully it lasts long enough for what it needs to. Over here, put some screws in the back. These can be the case screws that I had earlier, right? Okay, power supply is in. We have a SATA power for the front panel, which gives us power if we have an external SATA drive. It's kind of nice. Connect that up first. That's going to be for the other. Like I said, there's a hard drive I'm going to install, and then there's also CD drive, so we'll keep these lovely ketchup and mustard cables up here for easy access when I get to that point. That's Molex, which I don't think we have any Molex stuff in here. That's pretty nice. Okay, here's going to be the 24-pin connectors. I'm just going to put them in quick. Okay, that's installed. Now we have the 4-pin, but because it's a quad cord, it'll work fine with a 4-pin. Alright, now time for the graphics card. Only one slot, like I said, it's only 1030, so let's drop this bad. Oh. Of course, it's the wrong slot that I had open. Go figure, right? Knock a new one out of there. I know I'm missing some back covers, but it's Grandma. She ain't gonna notice, right? Alright, drop that in there. It's locked in. I can hear it. Get ourselves a case screw to lock down this CPU. Or GPU. I know what I'm talking about, okay? Go ahead and screw that bad boy down. At this point, we're done. I'm going to put the side panel on, and I'm going to cut the camera, I think, once I put the side panel on, and we'll come back to installing Windows. Because this is a done PC. We'll pick it up after when we get it plugged into a monitor, and we'll show you what's the window install, and yeah, should be smooth. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon. There we go. Let's go into the BIOS, make sure everything's working right. Okay, clear CMOS. Okay. That's all good. Memory, we should be able to overclock that. Yep, profile 1, yep, 3 gigahertz, or 2000 megahertz, I should say. Looks good. I'll go ahead and save. Yes. Now I've got a thumb drive right there, as you can see. It's going to have Windows on it for us. Should bring it up. Automatically. English US, install now. Grandma's going to be buying her own CD keys, so we don't need to get her hooked up with CD code. So for that, we're just going to hit next. I don't have a CD key. She's going to buy her own later. We're going to go ahead and do Windows 10 Pro. She likes to have the better Pro version. Hit next. Accept. Next. Custom install. There's our drive, 200 whatever gigs. Next. We'll speed through this. I'll come back to when it's about done. Alright, well that's pretty much it. It's building and installing Windows, and as you can see it worked.